Today we are learning crossed squares. This is a play on Jacobean couching that I designed myself, so I named it cross squares because it seemed simplest. I consistently did this stitch with the double color combo you see here because it lends itself to the design, but that's of course not strictly necessary. One thing I do want to note is that when you are working with two or more colors on the same layer of thread like this, you generally have the option to stitch everything that needs to be stitched with the first color, then switch to the next color and add the remaining stitches required. Or to stitch layer by layer as you normally would on laid work, switching back and forth between the colors as you go. This is entirely up to you, but for this tutorial I'll be doing the all of one color followed by all of another color method. Sort of, mostly. So we're starting with a woven trellis here, but there are a few differences than a normal woven trellis. The crossing threads have double the space between them than the ground threads, and we're going to weave all of them with the exact same pattern, no offsetting. Now I'll go back with my second color, starting on the ground row again and placing my stitches right next to the first set, all on the same side. I'm essentially just making a double stitch row, so I want to match the weave pattern of the neighboring stitch with each new one. On the other hand, if you were stitching layer by layer, you would have laid down this second set of ground threads right after the first and avoided this bit of weaving. Back in the crossing thread direction, I'll again add stitches of the second color right next to the first set of stitches, all on the same side and following the same weave again. I'll also now add a separate stitch in between the existing ones, which forms that traditional square-shaped trellis, and with this stitch, I'll weave in the offset pattern. Once I have that whole double color trellis laid out, I'm going to add some Jacobean couching on top, returning to that first color of thread. I don't want to go over every cross point here. I'll just couch over the points where the single crossing thread goes over the double ground thread. And that's crossed squares. As usual, I'll add a border of black backstitch around the section to finish it off. And we're done!